Welcome into the TV version of Strategies for Living. I'm marriage and family therapist David McMillan, and we got some radio folks in the house today. Radio royalty? I'm driving down the interstate, and I'm listening, and it says Corey Ryan, Shreveport radio royalty.
I'm the prince.
I doggone near ran off the interstate.
Because you know it's true.
Corey Ryan, welcome back to Strategies for Living, and thank you for bringing Elizabeth Morales with you today. And I understand you're there to keep him.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I got to make sure.
The new morning team at 96.5 KVKI. Corey and Elizabeth, welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
For living.
Yeah.
So this is exciting news.
It is.
Yeah.
We're very excited to take over for Robert Wright and Aaron McCarty. They were staples on KVKI for a lot of years.
What, over 10 years, over
10
a decade?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You guys have got some big shoes to fill. I mean,
do.
the original, KVKI, it's my baby. Put it on the air in 1983. Was part of the first ownership group with KVKI. And Jeff Edmond was our original morning guy. And then a couple of years later into KVKI history, Jeff and Melinda. I don't know how many years they were on, but a lot of years.
A lot of years.
And then Robert and Aaron for over 10 years, and you have inherited the mantle, if you will, 3 or 4 weeks ago?
I think it's 4 weeks?
Yeah, it's our fourth,
Probably feels a lot longer than that for you, doesn't it?
It does.
So now, we'll talk to Corey in a second. I'm more interested in you, Elizabeth. Let's just pretend that he's not here today. Were you in radio before, or is this a new venture for you?
I was part-time, basically, but I'm a dancer and choreographer and teacher, so I've been doing that for years and years. And
so being on stage, being on mic is no big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal. But this opportunity just kind of, I guess, it fell into both of our laps, and
I want to know more about that. But what's it like to get up? What time have you got to get up to be? You've got to be at the station at 5:30?
We're there at 5. Well, I'm there at 5.
And you don't have to explain that at all. I understand completely. So is that an adjustment? What's it like to? What time do you have to get up to be there at 5 o'clock?
The alarm goes off at 3:30.
Oh, Elizabeth.
And a lot of times it doesn't. I don't always roll out of the bed at 3:30, but. Close to that.
Yeah,
so
maybe hit the snooze a couple of times. Yeah.
And then head on to the station and we start our day. So.
Of course, you are Shreveport radio royalty. The lovable Larry Ryan, and you and your dad are back competing.
We are.
For the morning slot.
We are.
And
but of course, he's going for a different demographic than I am. He's looking for men 35 plus, and we're looking for mamas her age. 25, 54.
Yeah,
so.
And the station sounds great. It
Well,
really
you.
does.
Thank you.
I've never. It's been a long, long time since I've heard KVKI sound as good as it sounds now.
Thank you.
And you guys are really, really complimenting it.
Thank you.
How did this come about, Corey?
I was doing afternoons, and Erin McCarty said that she wanted to do news on Keel.
She was ready to get back into the news biz. wasn't
Oh,
she?
yes.
That was her deal.
Chomping at the
And
bit.
She talked Robert right into going, and while I was doing afternoons, they said, "Hey, would you like to do mornings?" I said, "Okay, can I bring somebody with me?" And they said, "Who do you want to bring?" I said, "I want to bring Elizabeth." They said, "Of course, she doesn't have any morning show experience." I said, "Let me tell you, the chemistry, Elizabeth and I have been friends forever. So there's a chemistry there that, because we're such good friends, that it's kind of a natural fit." And we were in Aaron Bristol's office one day, and I said something to Elizabeth, and she hauled off and decked me. She hit me hard.
Make me sound violent.
And from that point on,
He has that effect, believe me.
Aaron Bristol said, "I see what you're talking about." So that's how all that came to
Do you remember a conversation that you and I had 5 years ago or so? You were at a different radio station, and I said to you, "You just got to find the right partner."
I did. I found the right partner, and I found the right radio station.
You
Yes.
know, you have.
Yes.
Town Square Media and Lisa James, who's the general manager. If it's not illegal and maybe somewhat immoral, we can
We're going to
try
do it.
Yeah, I love it.
Whereas the other station I work for, which is across the street, it was all liner radio, and now another 10 songs in a row. And
All right, now,
I hate
when
that.
you say all liner radio, tell us what you mean by that. 'cause-
Liner radio means, another 10 songs in a row with absolutely no talk on whatever station it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what liner radio is. And it didn't give us an opportunity to present our personality.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you don't present your personality, there's really no point of doing radio.
Yeah, why do people tune in? Why do people tune in and listen? They tune in to listen to
Well,
real
for
people.
yeah, they want to associate, and they want to be able to, feel what that person is feeling, and want to know, we're real people, and
Yeah.
we have real lives. We are parents. We have kids. We have, all things that make us who we are, and they want to know that we're just like them, and we are.
Yeah.
Right.
We are.
Yeah.
And
We
you
lead
know,
the life. Before we started getting up at 3:30, we took kids
You
to
used to have a life.
Right, we took kids to school. We picked kids up at school. Now that we're up so early, it's easier to pick them up from school.
Right.
But we can't take them anymore.
Right.
So, and the whole thing is, the things that everybody's going through, we're going through them as well. So there's not this, hi, we're radio people, and that's not us.
That's people don't want to hear that anymore,
No.
do they?
No.
Yeah, they want to hear real people. What's been the biggest surprise for you in this last 4 or 5 weeks in becoming a morning radio personality, Elizabeth?
Well, I guess it's just been the adjustment of getting used to the schedule.
Yeah.
That's not really a surprise, but I mean, I knew it was coming. But again, like you said, not being there in the mornings with my kids.
Yeah.
2 girls, they're 5 and 2, and so they're young.
Hubby's having to step up to the plate
He is,
and
he is.
do the daddy stuff,
Yep.
huh?
And so that's just
How's it
been-
going so far? Are we getting the ribbons in the hair?
They are, and honestly, a lot of times I'll tell their teachers, hey, if the bow's in the bag or the bow's not in the hair, check the bag, make sure, go ahead, fix it. But he's doing a really good job with taking over that, and I think that's been the main thing for me, is just the schedule. But once I'm up and I'm at work, I mean, it's enjoyable.
You're good to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're having fun.
If it wasn't for her husband saying that he would take over the children duties,
Couldn't do this.
Probably.
there wouldn't
Yeah.
be a Corey and Elizabeth in the morning.
Right.
So it wouldn't be happening.
Right.
So really, we're together because Mike Morales stepped up and said, hey, I'll put the bows in the hair. So,
Yeah.
we're all grateful to him because he's
that's-
doing that for us.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So-
Absolutely. What's been the biggest surprise for you so far?
Really, there hadn't been a surprise. I knew that the chemistry would be very good. And I've done morning radio for a long time,
You've grown up. You grew
Yeah.
up doing morning radio.
I grew up doing
Yeah.
morning radio. So,
Yeah.
and actually, my father was the morning guy on KVKI for a while as well.
Yes, he was. Yes,
So,
he was.
I'm following in huge footsteps, and I guess the biggest surprise would be because the other people that we've worked for, or that I've worked for personally, they wouldn't let you do anything. Now, I mean, we're doing videos, we're doing things where we.
People have got to go to the website. 96.5, what is it?
965kvki.com.
KVKI.com. And you guys have gone all around town doing the happy dance. Was that a hoot or what?
We
We
had
had
a
a ball.
blast. We
Yeah.
did.
You dance very well.
Well, thank you.
And now, see, don't be shaky, don't be giving that. Truth be known, you looked at that video. You looked at that video
Yeah.
and you said,
I was
"Holy
watching her.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But you said, holy
And I didn't even know
smokes,
back then she was a dancer.
Corey can dance.
I did say holy smokes, but it wasn't followed by Corey can dance. I can assure you of that.
You dirty old.
I know. I am what I am.
Yeah, he can cut a rug when he wants to.
Yeah, I was
So-
impressed. Yeah.
But yeah, we had a blast doing that with the kids, and
How many schools did you go to?
3.
3.
Right.
And you even got the people at the radio station, I noticed.
We
Did
did.
we did?
yeah.
We even got some corporate people in from corporate from New
Oh,
York,
wow.
and oh yeah,
Man.
oh yeah. We just
And
said,
what-
hey, come dance with
everybody
us.
was-
Went to First Baptist.
First Baptist.
That's where her kids go to school. Went to Curtis Elementary and visited a friend of mine. And then we went over to Legacy. And I had my daughter Abigail and my nephew Brock. They danced in it. The only person that we couldn't get was my daughter Reagan. And she was devastated that she wasn't in it. But she was at Starbase. She was at Starbase on the Air Force
Yeah.
Base, and I couldn't get to her, or she'd have been in it as
Or
well.
she'd have been in it.
Yes.
Well, maybe another video. Maybe she could be in the
There will be
follow-up
another
video.
opportunity for another video, I promise.
We are visiting with the new morning team on 96.5 KVKI, Corey and Elizabeth. We've got much more with these two wonderful radio personalities. When we come back, stay with us. More Strategies for Living to come.
I never should have clicked on that link. It promised to unlock the secret of male enhancement, but it didn't. All it did was brag to my entire friend list that I had found a cure for the average male and that they should try it too. You know, once you spam your mom with a message telling her to increase the size of her manhood, family dinners have been a little weird.
Odds of becoming an astronaut, 1 in 13,200,000. Odds of being struck by lightning, 1 in 576,000. Odds of dating a supermodel, 1 in 88,000. Odds of bowling a perfect game, 1 in 11,500. Odds of being trapped in an elevator, 1 in 24,528. Odds of catching a ball at a major league game, 1 in 563. Odds of an injury from shaving, 1 in 6,585. Odds of tripping while texting, 1 in 10. Odds of getting cancer in your lifetime, 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 women.
It's up to us.
To change the odds for our generation.
For the ones we love.
For our future.
If you don't like the odds,
Stand up. Stand up to cancer.
I teach a wide variety of things, including film editing, directing, documentary making, lighting. I fell in love with art as a young child, and it's just always something that has stuck with me.
You know, I love the whole process of going on set, going back into the editing room, telling a story. That's what I really love about film.
I got laid off from my job, and I figured this was the perfect opportunity to go to school to get a degree for it.
As a kid, I was really into geeky stuff. I couldn't think of anything else that I would rather do.
They really provide you with the equipment and you know, the necessary tools in order to, you know, advance in a career, especially in communications field.
Well, one thing that really drew me to video production especially is it's just a way to reach people. And as someone who likes to communicate with other people, I felt that mass communication, especially broadcasting, was a tool that I could use.
You get some hands-on experience. They've got good stuff to work with. They really know what they're doing, and they're willing to pass it on.
When our students leave Bossier Parish Community College, they are equipped to get a job immediately, or they can move on to a 4-year degree.
Welcome back into the television version of Strategies for Living. I'm marriage and family therapist David McMillan. You're obviously watching Strategies for Living today. Don't forget you can listen to Strategies for Living every Sunday morning on News Radio 710 Keel between 9:05 and 10, also on strategiesforliving.com. What are you smiling about?
I'm making faces at my kids.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You're taking them bowling later today.
I am taking them
How are
bowling.
they going to keep you from cheating?
It's computerized scoring.
Welcome back, and we've got radio royalty in the house today. Our life strategists are Corey and Elizabeth, the new morning team on KVKI. Does that sound right yet to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It does sound good,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it fits.
It flows. What's been the hardest thing so far for you?
Wow.
Oh, I can answer that for you.
Oh yeah?
Oh, yeah. Without missing a
I'm
beat.
curious as to what he's going to
Yeah.
say.
Elizabeth is the kind of person that has to have everything lined up. ABC.
Little OCD?
Oh, little. We're talking big O, big C, big
So
B.
you need to have me in to get this under control. one
Well,
morning.
you know, we are.
I could hypnotize her on the air.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Don't
We could do
start
that.
throwing ideas out there, David.
Can you make her bark like a duck?
Well, it depends on how deep we get, you know, how deep we go.
But she's so she has to be so organized, and I'm not.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
I mean,
You are-
you're not.
Yeah.
I'm my
No.
I
father.
made sure, I knew enough to make sure when we booked this that she got it in her
that you
date
saw
book
me write it
because
down, right?
I knew that she would get you here.
Absolutely.
And actually, in fact, what was it? Friday? No, it was Saturday. Saturday, I said, remember, we're going to Bipsy on Monday. Oh, we are? Yes, Corey, we are.
I had it written down. My sister wrote it down for me, so it was all good. But you know,
Thank goodness for Casey
Absolutely.
and Elizabeth in your life.
Well, I'm one of these guys that I just go with the flow. I mean, if the mic's on, I can talk about whatever needs to be done. She, on the other hand, right before the mic comes on, she's like, "What are we talking about?" I said, "I got it. Don't worry about it."
Don't worry about it.
And she's like, so yeah, she gets a little fired up.
So that's been the hardest thing for her so far, to have to follow your lead.
No,
I
no.
lead very well, but the fact that I hide things from her sometimes.
Well, and he sometimes comes and it's from the back. I mean, it'll literally, like, some of the things he leads me into, I'm definitely not prepared for. And I figure out how to go around them, or go into them.
What's been the listener response so far? What feedback have you gotten
Positive,
from the people calling in? And I'm sure you've been out doing remotes and appearances and things like that. What are you hearing?
We've had people already come up to us and tell us about ourselves. I mean, you know,
You learned something you didn't know?
Exactly. Yeah, right. But Elizabeth, you lived in New York, right? Yes, I did. Oh, and you have 2 daughters, right? Yes, I do. And Corey, your dad's Larry Ryan. Yes.
he is.
You've been doing radio forever. Yes. I mean, you know, just
Is that a little hard to get used to?
yeah, I guess a little bit. Yeah. I mean, and I mean, it's funny because he'll go places and he'll talk and people will say, "Oh, wait a minute, I know your voice." You know.
I know that voice from
That
someplace,
voice.
yeah.
And then, you know.
And people, if women look at me and they say, "Do I know you?" I'll look at them and say, "We used to date," and they'll be like, "What?" And all of their friends will go, "Oh," and I say, "Oh yeah, we used to." And anyway, finally, I tell them who I am, and like, "Oh,
that makes
I know
sense.
you are."
You started doing radio at what, 15?
1984.
1984 at Kiel?
At Kiel Radio, and KMBQ.
Yep.
Back then, you remember those things on the discs called albums? Do you remember those? I used to have to spin albums on KMBQ. It was Rick Dees, Top 40 Countdown, and
Yep.
Casey Kasem's
Yep.
American Top 40, and then I would walk next door to Kiel and I would do a live shift. So yeah, I've been doing this since I was 15 years old, off and on.
Yeah. It's in your blood.
It is,
Yeah.
and I tried to fight it. I didn't want to do it.
No, I know you were actually you were an executive in the casino industry here. He looked good in a suit too. He really did.
Yeah,
I
he
was-
can pull it
walked
off.
in- I walked into one of the places one day and saw Corey Ryan there all dressed up in a suit. I said, "What in the heck is going on?" But you did fight it.
I did.
Yeah. Why? What keeps leading you back? I mean, it is
my
in your blood. Yeah.
It's in my blood, and you know, I do it because I like the opportunity to express myself and be creative. You know, I don't do it so I can walk in somewhere and go, "Hey, I'm Corey Ryan on the radio." I never do that.
Well, you know, one of the reasons, as I told you guys when we booked this, that I like to bring in broadcast and radio people is because out here at Bipsy, we're in the midst of all of these guys that are in the control room and running
Right.
the cameras. They're doing a degree
Right.
in some form of broadcast communications or the movies or whatever. What advice will you give to any of the folks here wanting to get into broadcast today? Is it a viable?
It can be, yeah, it can be. But with all of the companies merging and doing all this, it's a lot harder to get into it to make a decent living at it. So you know, a lot of radio stations will offset your limited base salary by doing remotes, which is you make extra money for that.
Right.
You can pre-record in other markets. You can do things like that. The one thing that I would tell whoever that is going into this is don't read. Don't. You know, because that's one thing people could tell you're reading. And
So be real. Just
Yes,
be real.
yes.
Right.
Yes.
If you're going to tell somebody something, Don't say, "Hi, I am Corey Ryan, and I want to tell you about whatever." It's, "Hey, I'm Corey. I'm here to tell you." It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Reading kills you.
Yeah.
It absolutely does. You have to talk to them.
Now I know you haven't been in 100 years
But
like
not-
your
no,
partner here,
no.
but for so far for your experience, part time and now.
Well,
part
I
of this
completely
morning team.
100% with him, agree with him, because I mean, honestly, I have been, I've done that some, and it does hurt you.
Do you guys listen to other morning teams, either in the market or in other markets, to get better, to grow? How do you develop? How do you grow yourselves?
Well, we're on the air at the same time they are. We
Yeah.
can't listen to them.
But we do air check ourselves and listen back, and so I think that definitely helps, because then we can see where we're going and what we're doing and how we're talking, and if, this needs to be changed, or this sounds great,
I could
we need
do
to go
this
this
better,
way.
or I could
Right.
do that better.
Right.
Yeah.
That's definitely a great tool.
You have to
be able
keep
to
that
do.
in check, though, don't you? You can become so critical of yourself
Yes.
that you can really
Yeah.
jinx yourself. And there's
Mm-hmm.
a fine line, I think, between.
And we
Yeah.
do cross that line every now and then. And a lot of times, certain people at the table will say, "I didn't say that the right way. I need to do this another way." And I'll say, "No, it was fine." And then for a few minutes, she's like, "Oh, I should have done it this way." And then we'll go back and we'll go find the recording and we'll play it back. She's like, "Oh, okay, I did that right." So she's a little insecure,
Well,
but she's doing a great
I don't
job.
know if I'm not really so insecure, but I do. I'm very grateful though to be able to have this job with Corey, because he has done it so much longer than I have, and I'm still learning every day. I mean, and I've got the best partner to be able to help teach me and lead me, and I think that we both bring. Obviously, we're a team and we're a show, but we both bring a lot to the table in different ways.
Yeah.
And
was this even on your radar screen, Elizabeth?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
absolutely
Sometimes,
not.
and
And that's why I said it dropped in my lap.
You guys are our life strategists today, so maybe that's the takeaway. I mean, sometimes, you just have to be ready, don't you?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can't predict. It's unpredictable what's going to come.
It's actually pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It really,
Do you pinch yourself some days to
Some
say,
days,
have I,
'cause, when
and maybe some days, what the heck have I done
Well,
here?
yeah.
The other day she pinches me. Yeah. Don't do that. Absolutely.
Well, with radio, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but having a morning show
It's a lot of pressure.
it's a lot of pressure, but it's also something that's worked for, and that's,
It's where you want to be.
It's where
If
you
you're
wanna
in
be, in
radio,
radio.
It's where
That's
you
where
want
you wanna be.
Yeah,
People that get
And-
into radio get into it to do morning drive somewhere.
sure.
So
and we're here and we're loving it.
It's the most
So,
listened to time of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on television. Notice that all of the TV networks have come at radio in the past decade or two. And there's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a real reason for that, because morning radio is, and I think always will be, something special.
Oh yeah.
one thing about us is, we're pretty enough for television, but we decide to do radio because we like it.
I told you that when we set this up, I told you it was going to be a struggle for me. And, I don't know what to say to that. So I'll leave it to you, Elizabeth.
He's special.
Yeah, that's about all you can do, isn't it?
That's about all. Absolutely. But she's green, but she's learning everything that we're doing. She is taking something away from it. So she started here and she's here, and I can't wait to see where the future takes
Well,
her.
and that leads me to, we've got a couple of minutes left. Can you give us some hints? If we continue to tune in to Corey and Elizabeth every morning on 96.5, what can we look forward to in the future? Can you kind of give us a scoop of what's ahead?
As far as, what are you asking?
Anything at all. I mean,
Are you asking about concerts coming up? Are you asking about tickets we're going to give away?
No. What's
Just
going to
with
be
us.
special with this team and the bringing this team together?
I think that you'll see the relationship between us as far as on air grow, and you will know that we want to be in the community. You know, a lot of radio stations will get away from all the community things, and they do all this national stuff.
Yeah.
And Justin,
You guys are you're embracing the local
Local,
stuff.
yes,
you
we
know,
are.
We one of the things that we did was the Purple Day, as far as what
Well, we did
epilepsy.
Epilepsy Awareness Day.
And we also did a
And we
day
also
for
did
the
military kids,
Right.
supporting
Okay, so we're going to
military
have
kids.
more and more of that.
Oh
from
yeah,
this point
local.
on. So if you want to know what's going on in the Shreveport-Bossier community, 96.5, Corey and Elizabeth are the place to go, right?
That's right.
KVKI.
That's right.
KVKI. Does that sound right for you? yet?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It just rolls off my tongue as well. I think as his too.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. Now the rest of the day, following you on KVKI comes who?
Aaron
Miss
Bristol.
Okay.
And
Is
then we have a guy
middays.
named Lucky Larry who does afternoons from 3 to 7.
He replaced you in the
He
afternoon.
replaced me, and then Aaron Traylor, who is the
The tallest DJ.
Tallest DJ.
I think he's 6'10".
That shows up. That
6'10".
shows up on the radio, I understand.
Yeah.
But we'll let people tune in. Folks, you got to tune in to Corey and Elizabeth if you want to continue this conversation that we've started with them. 96.5 FM, KVKI is the place to go. Corey, Elizabeth, thank you so much
Thank
for coming
you.
and
Thank you
being
for
a part
having
of
us.
Strategies for Living today. Thanks for being our life strategist.
Thank you for having
Thank you.
Folks, thank you for tuning in to Strategies for Living. Don't forget, we're on every Sunday morning, News Radio 710 Keel, between 9:05 and 10, and on strategiesforliving.com. For Corey Ryan and for Elizabeth Morales, until next time, I'm marriage and family therapist David McMillan. See you again here on Strategies for Living.